Easy go.
What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome to something a little bit different. Now, I was going to make a call to arms video today, but I decided I'd do something that is still related to call to arms, but let's say it's more of a news episode to do with call to arms. Now, if you want me to kind of do these news updates for like certain games such as maybe Men of Warsaw Squad 2, like this call to arms, or maybe any other war games that I play right now, if you want me to kind of do like a news section about it, then I would like to hear it. You know, you guys, excuse me, excuse me, I was going to say kind of the news section, so news section, fuck's sake. Anyway, yeah, I thought I'd make this because I tried to make a call to arms video, but the loading just took ages and my GeForce is acting weird, so I thought, why not just make a news episode about call to arms, and this will be this video done for today, and then I'll maybe bring out a call to arms video either tomorrow or Thursday. I thought tomorrow was Thursday, but Wednesday. Anyway, we're going to be talking about two nations that are coming out, the Germans and the Russians. As you can see, I do have them up right here, and I've only briefly read the Germans. I haven't actually really read the Russians yet, so, but I'm sure you guys have heard about the Germans. The German news about, you know, the Germans coming out, the news has been out for a while, but I haven't really been over it, and hopefully you guys, maybe if you haven't heard of it or at all about the Germans coming or the Russians coming, then hence why this video is here, to give you some news about them. So if you do want more of kind of like different news about different games that I play, then please let me know, because your support is always appreciated. Anyways, yes, the Germans are coming, so I'm going to read a wee bit of this. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'll maybe read this bit and then maybe read just a wee bit of each part, because like I said, I don't want to bore you to death by reading everything here, because that's just going to take far too long. Plus I've got the Russians to do, so yes, we are going to be without further ado, let's get into it. So we have splendid news. The Germans faction reached an important milestone and is now in internal testing for multiplayer balance. The next stage will be to complete the new Russian faction, which I'll talk about next, which has progressed very well too. We are closing in onto the public beta, which is in full swing, and expect the factions to be available for testing by the end of the month. Beginning of next month, to be part of the public test, which will last a few months, you acquire the Ultimate Edition. There will be no limitations to play with foes or allies who use the new factions. If you don't own it after the Germans, so basically if you don't own the Ultimate Edition, which is this year, after the Germans and Russians campaign is available, the factions will become available to the basic edition of Call to Arms for free. So basically, for the people who have the Ultimate Edition, it'll come out for you guys. Like I have the Ultimate Edition. You guys, whoever has the Ultimate Edition, you guys will be able to get it. But who doesn't, the Russians and the German campaign will come available after the Ultimate Edition has been out. Then it'll come out for the basic edition of Call to Arms for free. So that's very good. So I would say if you don't have the Ultimate Edition now, I would try and get it as soon as possible. I can't remember how much it is. Maybe I think it's like £15, or might be like £14 now. I have no idea what it is for other currencies. I think that's maybe like €12 or maybe €16. I can't remember if it's higher or lower. So I would try and get the Ultimate Edition as soon as possible for those who want to test the German and the Russians So let's move on to talk about the new factions. and you can see them here. You've got like the different infantry sections, like sorry, the new factions here. So you've got the KSK, you've got the MG troop. I'm gonna absolutely kill these names. I'm not gonna even pronounce these because I will fail miserably. So I'll only read out a wee bit, only like the important parts. Like I said, I haven't really read much of this, but I'll try and explain it to you as much as possible. High tier infantry consists of Panzer Grenadier, and I nailed that. The Fallschirmjäger, is that how you pronounce it? And the KSK Panzer Grenadier are used as tank support units, usually sent to the front lines in armoured fighting vehicles such as the Marder and Puma. Now, I don't know why they mentioned the Marder and the Puma, because the Marder is, if I remember, is a World War II tank, well, built in the area of the Puma and the Marder. I presume that's just for an example. Anyway, we expect to see very similar strategy in this game. The Fallschirmjäger are German paratroopers and are extremely well trained and equipped, usually drop behind enemy lines, so kind of like paratroopers. They are used to fight against overwhelming odds and are very well capable of doing so. The KSK, which are I think these ones here, or commando specialist, I presume, is the most famous German elite force, similar to Navy SEALs or the British SAS. Expensive yet extremely effective against other type of infantry. Deadly and stealthy, they should be used to precision strikes during the battle. So I'm glad they kind of put this out here for you guys, because let's say you guys have brought them out. Let's say the Germans come out and you just pick one and you have no idea what they're good for. I mean, you can see by the ranks, you can see which one are good, which one are bad, but it tells you here that specifically what they're good at. So let's say like the KSK are famous for the elite, so similar to like Navy SEALs, right? So it's very good that they actually detailed that in very specific ways. So now you have like different teams. So you've got the sniper team, you've got the AT team, you've got the fire team, sorry, the AT team, sniper team, I presume that's a mortar, scout team, elite team, and so on and so on. I'm not going to read all of this here. The elite marksmen are equipped with G28 rifles and provide fire support for over long distances, hard to take out but quite expensive to own. The elite engineers team enhances in your capability to build defense structures. They build faster and better equipped to take more of a beating, a perfect choice to quickly build strong and reliable defense positions. So if you want to pause this, of course, at any time and read it for yourself, then please do go ahead. But basically, the fire team is basically give support. AT team is basically take out, and I presume you know what AT. If you don't know what AT stands for, it's anti-tank team. Sniper, sniper team is basically explained. It's they shoot at long range. Mortar is to give support. Scout team is to scout for the whole area. Elite marksman team, as I've just explained, and the elite team, which is also I just explained here. Moving on to the next thing. This isn't really important. I was hoping I could mostly get onto vehicles, but I don't think they have it here. Or I'll just quickly read this out. Remember, the next update will come with completely new faction systems. Okay, new fortification systems. I actually didn't know this. Engineers can now build defense structures, including foxholes, tank traps, barbed wires, and more. Furthermore, we added a completely new system to get and build stationary weapons via the purchase menu. This system also supports mods which an endless amount of opportunities. For now, engineers will be able to construct heavy machine guns, stationary anti-tank weapons, and heavy mortar systems. We expect to expand the amount of exciting options later this year. That's quite good. Of course, Germany doesn't lack just great choice of armoured vehicles either. Their infantry comes with very good standard AT. Their tanks are very expensive and yet very much capable of facing everything you throw at them. In a defence role, the German faction is quite unmatched as they as they combine extremely good AT capabilities, strong armour and powerful infantry. I don't know why, while their tanks are the best you can buy for the money, for your, I presume, I think that's meant to be for your money, but for money, and their infantry is very well equipped and trained. Germany lacks good air support, which turns out to be the biggest weakness they have. Oh, so that's actually in real life. So all those Germans out there, we're gonna frickin' airbomb you while your recast air support is stupid. I'm joking. Take it. Only equipped with equipped with gun pods instead of rotatable autocannons. Germany will have a hard time to support ground units with precision strikes against well-organized infantry attacks. This is a first look at the German army. Next week we will be talking about the Russian faction, so stay tuned. So what do I think now that I've read it all? And you got some pictures here, you got some German tanks here, you've got the infantry, you got all these kind of different new systems, you've got, you know, which is still, they still keep it, they've still got, you know, all the same to do with units wise, and you can see that's a Leopard there, 2A4 or whatever it is. But I like how Call to Arms have done it differently from the other factions. So they said here that the next update will come with a completely new fortification system. Engineers can now build defense structures including foxholes, tank traps, barbed wires and more. Now I'm glad they do that, because I think like the US faction and the GRM faction, with the engineers you could only build like machine gun placements, and I think probably that's it. I'm not sure if you could build more, but as you can see here, you've got like tank traps, barbed wires, foxholes. You can even see it here. I don't think you're able to do that before with, you know, in the current version of with the US and GRM. So it's a nice touch they added in there. So that's good of them to add it in. Now they didn't really talk about tanks unless I missed it, which I don't think I did, because I mostly read everything here. I don't know why. Maybe the tanks are as you can see, there's pictures here of the tanks, but they didn't mention anything about, you know, what types of tanks or armored vehicles there is, because it's not just tanks. You can see here you've got like, you know, like armored vehicles which carry troops, and you've got, you know, these type of vehicles here, and you've got, you know, that truck there, and you've got most everything. But what they could have probably added in, and I know they couldn't have probably fitted in everything, but they could maybe mention about a little bit about what types of tanks you get, unless of course I've missed it and I would probably have to go back in the news, Call to Arms news. But so far I actually haven't seen any information about what tanks you get or what armored vehicles you get in the meantime. So maybe they'll add that in during the later dates when it comes close to releasing of the German faction. But in the meantime, I think overall it's a good faction. But when you're let's say it comes out and you're playing the German faction, I wouldn't pick air superiority, as it says their air superiority isn't very good. So if you're playing the Germans, you have to play it quite different from the other factions, from the US faction, because the US faction they've got good air support, they've got good tanks, they've got good infantry, maybe not as good as the Germans, but that's just me in my own opinion. But personally saying, it's good that Call to Arms or the developers have made it more difficult for you to play this faction, because you maybe only get, I presume because they said it's not very good, you'll maybe only get a few helicopters. As you can see here, there's only one here. So I like how Call to Arms have just done that in the way that it's different from the other factions. So good on Call to Arms there. I'm quite, although I wish they would say about the tanks and different armoured vehicles you get, because we could go in and just have no idea. But even though we know what, you know, the Leopard at the top here, we know that's a main battle tank, and you know down here this is kind of like an armoured vehicle to support troops and give support to support the troops as they go along the front line or whatever. So it's quite good that they've mentioned this here, but like I said, or well, they didn't mention it, but you can see in the pictures that this vehicle is supporting the troops, and you can see they're getting ammo. But I wish they would add in the tanks and the armored fighting vehicle section. But except from that, I think overall the German faction is okay. It's maybe not as good as the Americans, but they certainly have a different, unique way from the Americans in the GRM, which is good, because you always like to see different tactics and how the different factions work. So I definitely do like how the Germans have how Call to Arms have done this out, and you can even see like the paint jobs on the helicopters and the tanks. You can see like they're very associated with the Germans, and you can see they've got like the you can see they're kind of in camouflage with the background environment here, with kind of like the bush action, and you can clearly see you've got the German like we flag here and how they're ranked. It's all good. You have to take in these finer details to find out, you know, how well they do in combat. And also you can see like the infantry camo as well, and what they wear it's just very nice, and I like the taste to it. And let's say it might be a winter map, there might be a winter camo for it, but of course there's none. I don't think there's any winter maps in the game yet, as far as I know. But you can see like the camo here, you've got like green, a mix of black, and maybe a bit of brown, and you got, you know, the finer details of it is, you know, very nice, and I do like it. So props for Call to Arms or the developers for doing very well on this faction. Like I said, if there is any more news about the German faction near the time when it comes out, then I will of course let you know. But you know, I was going to move on to the Russian faction, but I think that might do today's episode, because this has been quite I don't know if it's been a long episode, but I have to say I'm liking where the Germans are going, and I'd like to hear what your opinions too are on the German faction. Do you like them? Do you think anything could be changed on the German faction? Please let me know in the comments. And as always, I'd like to thank you so much for watching and our support, and make sure you hit the notification bell. All social media links are down below, as well as, like I said, please tell me what you think about the German army or the German faction that's coming out, because whoever owns the game, whoever owns Call to Arms, then you'll definitely be excited to see this faction, as I am myself, because I'll definitely might be live streaming it or playing live streaming it. And as far as I know, there is a German campaign for this as well, so I'll definitely be playing that, as well as a Russian faction. There's a campaign for that as well, so I'll definitely be playing those. But in the meantime, I will do the Russian faction, which is here. I will do the Russian faction either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there is winter maps. Okay, never mind. There is winter maps, but anyway, I'll do the Russian campaign tomorrow. And if you enjoyed this video and want other news stuff, then please let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching our support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.